All right, welcome in as we are live on a Wednesday. Now, where is Barrett not here today? Or
I have no idea, man. I mean, okay. He doesn't really inform us of what's going on.
Right.
I mean, why would he? What's the point?
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean,
this is
no, like we should just bring on Amy Fadul for a good 20-minute session.
Love it.
And just rag on Barrett.
Yeah.
Because we know what she went through, and we're going through it right now. We are living proof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's amazing here that it's 11 o'clock in the morning and we have no idea. Mama Brooks would never let us down. She was the first person to comment on the stream 10:52 a.m.
Exactly.
We're 8 minutes before the show. Neither one of our faces were even popped up here yet.
We should just have Mama Brooks be the Brooks on the show.
More than okay with that.
You know what I'm saying? I just forwarded the link to Matt Lombardo, who is scheduled to join us today at 11:40 to talk about that Giants brawl yesterday and also how their camp has been going up till now. So we got that going.
Mike K tweeted out that Nick Sirianni just unloaded on Jalen Reagor following a second-round rep, legit tore into him. Look, I'm sorry.
Good.
Yeah, good, yeah, but now I feel like everybody's just trying to catch up to Joe Judge.
Is that what you think? Joe Judge set the bar?
I think so. I think guys looked around, they saw what happened, they're thinking to themselves, oh, man, I need to set the tone, man. I'm telling you, I think that is a subconscious seep through right now.
Well, we'll see if McCarthy follows suit in with the Dallas Cowboys or Rivera down in D.C.
Well, I mean, is anybody really taking that Mike McCarthy guy seriously?
But that's what I'm saying. That would be the ultimate test. If he went as far to go out of character and started to torch, let's say he torched Ezekiel Elliott.
Right.
Because he fumbled a ball in a rep.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
But did you see the Nick Sirianni? I guess he was down at Avalon. It looked like that Icona Resort Hotel. And he was walking in off the beach, and there was a wedding party that was, hanging out and having fun and getting ready to take pictures, I guess. And
yes,
he and his coordinator walked through the lobby, and they were spotted, and they got serenaded to the Eagles chant and so forth. And then there's one guy at the end saying, "Run the ball, run the ball." It was great.
That's amazing.
I thought that was awesome.
Oh my goodness.
Kevin Kincaid's got some great stuff, man, at Crossing Broad.
Oh yeah, look at that. Man. What did he write a piece for you or something?
No, I'm just saying, like he's always putting up this good stuff.
I tell you, who we need to have on the show from Crossing Broad that is long overdue. Well, both Russ and Bob are long overdue, but Wankel is long overdue.
Well, yeah, we used to have him on regularly on our show down in South Jersey talking baseball.
Right. And I think, honestly, we should get him on. Today might be a good day to get him on. Bouncing around what we're doing, depending on what pops from practice. Do we even know if Barrett is on the show today? Or
I have no idea. I mean, I don't know why we would be informed anyway. I mean, we just got to do the show.
Yeah. That's it. But I mean, I think at some point, if we know, oh, look, Tone says he's watching B. Brooks on NBC 10 right now.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, that's great. It would be nice to have gotten a text to say, hey, guys, I'm doing the TV this morning. I'll hit you up at X time.
Right.
Now,
here's the thing. I just saw this on the stream real quick. Dwight Howard taking shots at Ben. That's from Jimmy Blues. Is that serious?
Not Sirius XM.
No, I don't have a subscription to that anymore.
I do. All right, let me check, because I would love to hear that. Here's the other thing that I saw yesterday that would kind of dismayed me a bit is another shooting video of Ben Simmons going up against some 5'11" coach who's pretending to guard him as he backs him down and then hits a turnaround.
Yeah.
Like, is that supposed to do anything for me? Does he send that stuff out? What is that supposed to do?
I don't know if somebody, like, think about this. If I were friends with someone who I know I could get a video of and then put it out on social media, I would do that to take full advantage of the clout that I could get, right? Which would be retweets and follows and all this other stuff. So I don't know if Ben Simmons specifically is like, yeah, put that out, man. Put that out. Put that out.
Right.
Or if Ben is doing something and like the coach or somebody in there is like, I'm going to get this out. And Simmons is like, man, we got to quarantine this building again and get everybody the hell out. Like, something along those lines to prevent leaks. I don't know what it is, but it probably lacks self-awareness if he's continuing to put this out himself. I would
total lack of self-awareness. Yeah, I see Dwight Howard referred to Ben Simmons in an Instagram post.
Do you have it?
Yeah, well, yeah.
We'll get to it.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, well, we are live on a Wednesday. Matt Lombardo is going to join us this hour from Giants camp. We got Lombo joining us from Giants camp before Barrett from Eagles camp. That's the kind of morning that we're having so far here.
But Ron Culver is back.
I did hear his voice as I connected before we began. So I imagine he was barking something at Jake Asman.
Well, yeah, and that's what you do with Jake Asman. You bark at him.
That's right.
But he sent us a text saying, "What's up, kids? I'm back." So it sounds like he's fired up and refreshed from vacation.
Okay, so real quick, I thought that was Barrett.
No.
Saying, "What's up, kids? I'm back," like at 11:30 or something like that. Oh, okay, so nothing from Barrett today about him being out.
Correct.
Okay, well, let's just hope he's okay first and foremost, right?
Well, he was on TV. He was spotted on TV.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. So that's beyond that.
Right.
Well, Ron is back. Ron, how was your vacation?
Fantastic. I was up in the Rocky Mountains for about the past week and a half, so it was great.
In Colorado specifically, or
or Canada? No, I spent some time up in the Canada Rockies. So
Vail.
Okay,
oh,
Vail.
Look at you, how bougie!
Wow,
bougie.
Taking in all the greenery.
I didn't think you made it. Well, greenery in what sense here? I mean, they're still making snow up there in August, right?
I know. Yes, when in Rome, right?
Correct. I didn't know you had the cash flow to hang at Vail.
Wow.
Well, there's Vail, and then there's the other side of Vail. Actually, I was up there for my son's baseball tournament.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay.
How did he play?
He did well. Yeah, he aside from all the hits and strikeouts that he gained, pitching strikeouts, by the way.
Right.
I think his the coolest part of the whole trip was he got intentional walked, and that was the first for his career.
Nice. Now, what was the circumstance in which he was intentionally walked?
2 outs, guys on second and third, and he had already had an RBI double earlier in the game, and the manager's like, "Nah, he can go to first."
See, Harry, that's a moment of pride I can't wait for my kid to experience, which is the intentional walk.
Wow.
I'm telling you, that's great stuff. All right, Culver's back. We might need to sneak in a fake news.
We might.
I'm sure he can't wait to come back to work and help us out. All right, we're back in 3 on the network. Man, had a couple of parlays last night in baseball. Yeah, we went Braves.
You had all those DFS lineups too. How'd that work out?
Well, FanDuel, I bet 37.50 for 300 lineups, and I won like $30. So I lost 7 there. And DraftKings, I put in $75 of lineups to make 150, or $75 to make 150, and I won 90 back. So, hey, it's all about, this is it, man. Like, it's all about staying alive until you hit something big, right?
Right.
You don't want to be losing money, right? So it's weird to draw a betting analogy, but it would be like pushing until you win a bet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I am right now, whereas these guys at the site have helped me. It is a completely, I thought from fantasy football, it was simply like, yeah, we know the game. We're betting on the game. We know the lineups. We know who's playing. Like, we know it to an extent, right? A deep extent. Baseball, I'm not following this, right?
Right.
You don't have to, because I've got optimizers. I've got, rankings. I have all these things that we, like, you and I could create right here a tennis lineup with that site. And I guarantee you that at the very least, we would make our money back.
A tennis lineup.
No, you know what we're going to do? You know what we're going to do? We'll do this. All
right.
We'll create a golf lineup.
All right.
We'll do that. We'll create a golf lineup.
Well, like a DFS thing?
Yeah, a DFS lineup.
I've already got one.
Well, I know you do, but we're going to do it solely off of predictions based off of the optimizer and the rankings.
Oh, okay.
And just see how it does. We'll enter it into a couple of tournaments. See how that plays.
All right, I'm down with that. Now, I'm going to send Barrett a text and see if he responds.
Yeah, we need something going on here, right? Like, this is inexcusable.
I mean, is it an unexcused absence since he didn't run it by us?
I haven't heard anything. We need a golf sharp, man. Today's the day, huh?
Yeah, well, the WGC starts tomorrow.
That's what I mean.
I was at this tournament 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's right, Memphis.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's going to actually be part of the FedEx Cup playoffs starting next year.
It's not this year.
No.
Okay. When does that technically begin?
The FedEx Cup playoffs? There's 2 more tournaments.
Then that.
Two more weeks, and then that starts.
Okay. I'm even going to share the screen here so you can see what's going on once we get to it. Oof. Yeah, man, hit the Braves, Phillies, money line. Braves game was over easy, but I had to sweat that Phillies money line out. Pushed Phillies -1 and hit Houston +1, parlayed with the under 9 in the White Sox game, which, man,
that had to be a sweat.
That was a sweat, too.
Rocket
But look, they,
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
So here's my hypothetical for you, right? I'm going to lay this all out right now. The Philadelphia Eagles are 5 weeks, technically 5.5 weeks away from the jump, correct? Like from the start of the season. Is that right? Is that accurate?
Yeah, we are less than 6 weeks away. I'll give you the exact date here. The Cowboys Buccaneers, the first game of the year is 36 days, and the Eagles Falcons, that Sunday slate of games, is 39 days away.
Okay.
So
we've got preseason football. Things will happen
this week.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. Things will happen this week. Let's not act like we're not going to have anything at all to talk about. But at the same time, Sixers are going to do something. They're going to make a trade. It may not be the trade we want, but they're going to make a trade. Something will happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then here comes this baseball team where all of a sudden, and I'm not buying it, all right? But at the same time, I think we need to at least present this scenario is what happens in a week if we're gearing up for preseason football?
Mm-hmm.
If we're dealing with the ramifications of a Harris or Simmons trade.
Right.
And this team is 1.5 to 2 games up in the division.
Up. Okay, because they're 1.5 games out right now, and they're out of the wild card like 7.5. So you can kiss that goodbye.
Absolutely right.
So it's division or bust.
Yes, and look, they have a pretty big series this weekend as they're 1.5 back against the Mets. They'll close out tonight against the Nationals, who have just given up. Although
the Nationals have put up the white flag. Okay, so beating them, you have to beat them.
You think, yet still we've had 2 sweats with this team.
Wow, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Phillies aren't that good.
No, they're not. You're right. You're right. They're only a game.
Everybody got cranked up because they won 3 out of 4 against the Marlins after the break, and they beat the Cubs, I believe, like a drum before the break. And it was like, wow, they're putting together a streak. Yeah, they're playing all the worst teams in the National League.
Now, the
Nationals are one of them.
And they still make it difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with that. Are you a fan of that movie Crank by Jason Statham?
Crank? No, I never saw it.
No?
No.
Oh, come on, man. That's some homework for you. You got to go back. That's a top 5 Statham movie.
Yeah?
Yeah, Crank.
I don't know if I've ever seen one of his movies.
You've definitely seen stuff with him in it. Maybe not a Jason Statham lead, right? Like the Transporter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But you've seen movies with him in it.
Right. I could pick him out of a lineup.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Okay.
I would know him if he fell on me.
No, I think you need to go back and check out Crank, bro. I'm telling you,
Yeah?
you'll be I think you'll be pleasantly happy with
I
it.
heard that's bad for you.
Well, it's bad for you, but it worked for Statham.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's one of those.
Gotcha.
But here's the point: in that we're not going to be able to ignore this team anymore, Harry. At
You
some
don't think?
point, now maybe
They're going to demand my attention. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. What if we do the old radio trick? Right,
Mhm.
which is I don't want to talk about it, but I'll bring a guest on to talk about it.
Right. We could put up a poll question saying, "Do you want to hear more Phillies discussion?"
Yeah, I agree. No, I think that would be amazing to see that. No, did you see? So I got our boy Mo Dakhil and a couple of other people as well on this tweet. I felt bad now because I got Mo on this, but our buddy Coggin Toboggan, who is also with Crossing Broad, has the parody podcast, if you will, called Let's Go to the Phones. Of course, they don't take phone calls, but they make fun of everything that sports radio is and shouldn't be. So they put a tweet out with the pic of Ben Simmons just about to shoot, right? You mentioned the video. Well, there was a pic, the still shot of Ben just about to shoot that jump shot.
Right.
And they quote it saying, wow, maybe this summer he really is going to practice and turn it all around. Like
I saw that.
Yeah. So I quoted it with this quote: "It's concerning to me that he's out practicing in LA, not here in Philadelphia. He doesn't get us. My nephew saw Joel Embiid shooting free throws at 6th and Lombard last week." End quote. .. caller of the week.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So again, just playing into everything here. So my buddy, our buddy, friend of the show here, great tape analyst, I should say, sorry. Mo Dakhil fell for it because he doesn't know, right? He just saw this and thought it was real. Shouldn't be concerning at all. So many players work out in LA during the offseason. Like he legit was
he took it seriously. Yeah.
So I love it, right? And I retweeted that. And then people are responding back and forth. Like the people who understand it get it, right? And then you have some other people that are just like, oh my goodness, I'm baffled at all of this. I saw this other account put it out here, Made for Philly. We all want Ben to work during the offseason. Now he has to work at 6th and Lombard for it to count. Some of your fans are something else. It's like being retweeted. It's being liked a bunch.
Fantastic.
I mean, come on.
See, now none of this would happen if you weren't check marked. If you didn't have that blue check mark, you wouldn't be getting all this feedback.
I think Coggin has a pretty loyal following if he puts something out where there's always like 100 or so people. So he retweeted it, and that's it. Because that account doesn't even follow me or anything like that. So I don't know, just a little fun with that.
Well, you talk about a little fun. Dwight Howard put out he put out an Instagram post basically saying goodbye to Philly and how he loved his time here. The fans, brotherly love, all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. At the end, he goes, "To my brothers, this year we came up short, but we had an amazing season. Thank you to the entire 76er staff. We'll always be family. And Ben, bend your knees," with a bunch of laughing, crying emojis, referring to the free throw shooting, I believe. Yeah. So that was the crack.
Okay, so it was the free throw shooting. That was the joke. Okay.
Right.
But this wasn't
taking free throw advice from Dwight Howard.
Yes.
Think about that.
Look, honestly, let's look at this. There's probably a short list of people that Ben Simmons can't take free throw advice from, right? Ben Wallace is one of them.
Shaq was better, though.
Shaq was better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got better. Right. Like, I'm sure there's somebody in the 70s.
Oh, sure. Right. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of any brutal, right now, but
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Not everybody was a sharpshooter.
No.
They're contrary to Chris Russo. So this is amazing, man. Amazing. Now, I'm looking for any updates here from camp. I know that we're doing the show off the internet, and that's a problem for some people, even though we're on technically the internet and being broadcast out on the JAKIB Media YouTube page, where you should hit us up with a like. A subscription would be nice. That really helps the channel out exponentially. And the notification bell, so you're not so you're not late for anything. And also live on Sports Map Radios, we are back with Ron Culver as well. But that's the thing is, I'm just looking for any other video or anything else that came out. Don't want to bury what happened with Rager. And look, you said good right away. Like, this kid needs a little kick in the rear.
He does.
Okay.
I'm starting to come around on the coach a little bit. It's like I'm looking for reasons to embrace the coach before I see him coach his first game. And I'm not counting preseason games, okay? Before Atlanta.
Okay, well, let me ask you that. Follow up on that, though.
Yeah.
If you don't dislike him, why do you need a reason to like him?
Well, I don't dislike him. I'm just looking. I'm looking for more reasons to even like him. You know what I mean? Instead of just saying, "Well, I don't dislike him," I want to like him.
I got to be honest. I don't know what this guy looks like.
You don't?
No, I mean, like I've seen him. I've seen him on press conferences and stuff.
Yeah.
But I saw that picture of him crashing the wedding. I didn't know which one it was.
Oh, right. Well, he was, I think he had a backpack on, like a book bag kind of thing. And he's got the dark scruffed, heavy scruff beard. It's almost like a real beard now. And then he pointed across the entranceway to one of his coordinators who was on the other side of the group of wedding people.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know that guy. That guy could have walked right by me. I wouldn't have known him, but I can pick Sirianni. Sirianni walks by me. I know who he is.
All right.
Even in Avalon.
Yeah. Okay. Good for you, man. I don't, I'm happy for that. I just,
Now, I just looked up Artis Gilmore because I have Russo on the brain whenever we think about days gone by in the NBA because of the Havlicek thing, right? You know, Artis Gilmore. Do you remember him as a big center for the Bulls for many years?
Absolutely.
He was a career 69.8% free throw shooter. And I remember watching this guy. It was not pretty.
No.
But I will take Artis Gilmore's numbers for Ben Simmons.
I would too. So that's a pretty interesting barometer to look at right there. That's a pretty good job of on-the-fly mining
not bad.
And information. Pretty impressed.
I mean, he's no Artis Gilmore.
Can you imagine that?
Oh, he's so great.
That would be it. Simmons gets traded to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Right? And then Russo's blowing his top because people are like, oh, the Wolves are a playoff team. Some idiot calls his show just to troll him.
Right.
Hey, Chris, I think that the Wolves can win that actually could be in the 6th seat this year. Hey, he can't get a free throw.
Crazy. He's no Artis Gilmore. I mean, please.
That's exactly it. My goodness, man.
Oh,
we got to get him on.
I know.
I'll wait for Barrett to be back, though, and that's an ask. Have to make sure he remembers who I am first, but we'll go from there. All right. Also here, anything new from geez. All right. I'm sorry, Ron Culver. Ron's back. I don't know what to make of this. Maybe we gave Sean Mapes too much credit because he was doing all these different things. Or maybe Ron is back to his idiosyncratic ways of producing programs. No, in all seriousness, I want to make sure that my mic is right because having anybody listening to me in its own right is difficult, let alone when I'm overmodulated or peaking. So let's look at anything that happened yesterday. Besides Kemba Walker going to New York, I think that's the big thing, right?
Yeah, that and Jimmy Butler getting a deal.
Well, Jimmy wasn't going anywhere.
No,
right?
I know, but now he got a deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I think that would be the one thing to look at would be what happens. Look, the Knicks are not going away, man. Julius Randle disappeared, and it was one of the worst exits we've seen for a team that had some promise to make it to the second round. But free agency is definitely looking at trying to make a lot of teams better around Philadelphia. And look, Andre Drummond, I think, is going to help. Definitely going to help.
Now, Lombardo cannot do 11:30 now, or 11:40 now because Joe Judge is doing his live Zoom at 11:45, and that's the first one post-fight. So he cannot miss it. So we're doing 12:40. Why
don't we do like 12:10? Or 12.
Well, that might not be over by then.
You don't think so?
No.
People are going to drag this damn thing out?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So
now we can, if you want, it's up to you, but we can get a Golf Sharp on at some point today and talk about the WGC. Now, we can also talk a lot. He also does a lot from a betting standpoint from the NFL.
Right.
So we can do that as well. I don't want to keep it, 12 minutes on golf. We can talk some golf and then talk some NFL futures, especially with the NFC East and kind of how things are playing out here.
Sure.
But we would probably have to do that sooner than later, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I can send a text out when we break, which is what we're going to do now, mind you. So leave us a like if you just popped in. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We're live and local from the Fritz and Bean Cooley Law Studio. If you know someone who suffered a personal injury, contact Brian Fritz directly. The middle is sponsored by Pure Bull Beef Jerky. Get yours now. Go to steersnacks.com. We are back in 3.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid
as long as you face the fear.
and keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull Beef Jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. Doc and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at ibew98.org.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
This is a key. It's a family tree. It's a pair of wings. It's a secret handshake. And a ticket to anywhere in the world. It's more than a uniform. It's the door to a world most people only dream of. There's Strong, and then there's Army Strong. Try it on at GoArmy.com.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right. Well, nothing back yet.
From Barrett?
No.
No, I sent a text saying, hey, Barrett, where are you at? Nothing. And Ron Culver can confirm because he's on the text.
He is.
Yes. Now, I'm reading Jimmy Kempski here. You talked about Jalen Reagor getting an earful from the head coach, Nick Sirianni, today. Apparently, he got it twice. He got it from another coach, too.
Really?
Yes.
A position coach, I assume.
Kevin Patullo reamed him out first before Sirianni came over and gave it to him. So Sirianni came in from the top rope after he had already been body slammed by Kevin Patullo.
Yep.
How about that?
Absolutely.
Piling on.
This is amazing now that Reagor is the focus of what was happening. Was he dropping foot? Do we know what led to this? At least with the Ralph Vacchiano tweets, we knew exactly what happened with the see, now I get animated again. I'm going to get a text from Ron. I got to put this mic back. I apologize. But we know exactly what happened.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Play.
I don't know. I mean, Sirianni was a wide receivers coach. That's how he earned his bones. So,
right.
Maybe that particular position, it's sort of like, Saban with the defensive backs. Like he coaches the defensive backs. Like that's his thing.
Yeah.
Even though he's the head coach. So Sirianni's going to be, he's sort of like a quasi head coach, wide receivers coach too. So I think he's going to be really hard on. I like the fact that he's riding this guy.
Yeah.
This guy needs a big year.
He does, and I don't know what the expectations are. Like, what is a big year? He's a guy that we really haven't talked about specifically. Like, you're right. He's part of the narrative. He's part of what this Eagles team offense can be, even if they're not great, top 10, top 15, whatever. He's going to be part of the productivity on the field, but we don't really lay out what we expect from him.
You know why?
Okay.
Because they drafted Devontae Smith. That's why everybody's distracted and enamored, as they should be, with the Heisman Trophy winner that we sort of forget about. Reagor was a first-round pick last year that was picked instead of Jefferson.
Correct.
Okay, so this guy, I mean, he can't help that Jefferson was still on the board. That's not his fault. But there's a lot riding, I think, on this kid this year to really sort of prove, like, hey, he was worthy of a first-round draft choice. Now, what does that translate to in numbers?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say, what would you say? 4 or 5 touchdowns.
I don't know.
600 some yards. Would that be acceptable?
Not really. Not when Justin Jefferson's going to light it up for maybe double that.
Yeah, I know, but I think Devontae Smith is the number one target here. But would that be a baseline, like where you'd be like, okay, is that where we start? Like, I can't expect this guy to go out there and have, 10, 11, 12 touchdowns. That's to me unreasonable.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that you have to ramp up. Well, see, here's the thing. Does he get, I hate to use the term pass because it's not going to be a pass, but does he get a year of a learning curve like everybody probably should with a new offense, new coach, new system, all of this? Right. I mean, like, is it not unfair / hypocritical to lower the bar entirely for the offense and the team as a result, but still have such a high bar for Jalen Reagor? Right? Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I see what you're saying. But, I mean, 4 or 5 touchdowns, is that too much to ask?
No, I think that's a sweet spot right there. But again, it's going to look, everything is comparative by nature, right? So a good year for Jalen Reagor, meaning like a good year individually for Jalen Reagor, is not going to match up with a good year for Jefferson.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yes, but there are a lot of people that will expect,
Yeah.
or they'll at least limit this conversation, the parameters of it right now, and say, well, 5 touchdowns isn't going to get you Jefferson productivity. He's not going to get productivity.
Which is why they should have taken Justin Jefferson. But no, if you're expecting that, I think you're going to be sorely disappointed.
Yeah.
All right, let's just look at him because I forgot how much he had. All right. He had 7 touchdowns last year, did Jefferson. 88 catches, so a lot of productivity. 1,400 yards.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that offense was top 10. Yeah, 2 top 10 receivers, at least from a DFS standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that
yeah.
Wow.
Yards per reception, almost 16, 15.9.
Yep. 16.9?
Yeah, 16.9. 15.9. I'm sorry, 15.9. Almost 16.
Almost 16. Still, that's, it's a hefty number.
Yeah.
Woo.
125 targets. He caught 88 balls, was targeted 125 times as a rookie.
You'll never get that from Jalen Reagor.
Yeah.
Ever. Which is okay, though. Yeah, Bruder's right on the stream. Reagor won't be at 1,400 yards after 2 years.
Yeah, yeah. Probably.
But look, I think that if we have hindsight here, it's about knowing what happened with Brandon Graham and how for years a lot of people in this city just simply ignored the talents of Brandon Graham because he wasn't a safety.
Right.
Everybody wanted.
Right.
And it took years of even Graham outplaying his first round tag for people to finally come around. And it was ridiculously unfair and absurd for Brandon Graham to go through that. It wasn't his fault. Point being is that, look, if Jalen Reagor has 850 yards to 900 yards receiving this year, targeted a bunch, scores 5 to 6 touchdowns, I don't think about Justin Jefferson.
You know,
he's not the first name that I think. No, look, I think you've got good productivity for a second-year wide receiver who's dealing with a second offense in as many years, who's not Justin Jefferson from the jump. We just said that, right?
Yeah. Right. And I mean, Reagor had 31 catches last season for almost 400 yards, 396. Let's just say 400 yards.
Yeah, but that offense and I'm not excusing it, Harry. I'm just adding context. That was an abomination.
It was. So, but that leads me to my question. Like, what are you saying that he played 11 games? So he didn't, say we get 15 games out of him. Can you expect 65 catches?
Look, I think there's an interesting comment on the stream that I want to get to, Harry, in response to what you're talking about with the data. No Brooks, maybe Culver can step in. Maybe we can call in the righty and he can hit us up with a fake news, because I know that's something he was missing a ton on vacation back in 3 on Sportsman. A scheme team puts this up. I think Fulgham will have a better year than Reagor. I am inclined to believe that. And look, I understand Bruder follows that right up with he may not be catching balls in practice, but he has tape, and he's shown tape last year that he could shine through a bad offense, right? Like Sirianni doesn't come into this season saying, well, let's look at everything that happened last year and hold these guys accountable. He looks and probably is laughing at how bad this Eagles team looked on tape last year.
Yeah, I mean, Fulgham had 38 catches. I'm going to say most of those were in his first couple of games. He got out to a big start.
But then he disappeared on tape because the Eagles didn't play him as much, didn't throw to him as much. It's not like he couldn't play anymore.
Well, just look at this. In week 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay, he had 13, 10, 11, and 7 targets. 10, 6, 5, 6 receptions. He had 152 yards, 75 yards, 73 yards, 78 yards, and then he disappeared. Like to 8 yards, 10, 16. I mean, nothing.
Right. And I think, again, the context in that is you had a quarterback who didn't know what the hell he was doing. You had a backup quarterback who was really shaky after his first start and a half, if you will, and an offense that ignored Fulgham. Now, again, I'm not explaining or excusing away that Fulgham should have had 1,000 yards or something crazy like that. What I'm saying is that, man, come on. There's a lot of context that I think, but look, he still had moments of shine, and that's where I think he comes back as. Also, here's another thing we have to factor in. Fulgham stepped into the role that Devontae Smith left open with the injury.
Yeah. Either that
already out there on the field.
Either that or the Giants figured out from the first time that they faced him, because they were the team that first started to shut him down after the Dallas game.
Correct.
And realized, hey, this is what we can do to take this kid and make things really difficult for him, because from then on, he was nothing.
That was it.
Yeah. Giants faced him twice in 3 weeks.
Yeah, man. We didn't know that. So now we get a text 11:40 here.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah. On NBC 10. Now, where was this text at 9 a.m. today?
No idea, man.
Boy, I'm telling you, I was an offensive line coach. I would ride Brooks. I would be like Howard Mudd with the whistle right up in his grill.
Seriously, what?
This is The Middle on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right. Well, it looks like I don't know how long this hit. What's going on NBC 10 right now?
Who knows? Are they doing some live thing down there?
I couldn't
with like John Clark and Barrett.
I couldn't tell you, but
Zangaro.
Yeah, I guess it would be Zangaro, right?
It's not Barcan. He's doing Philly stuff.
Okay.
Philly's post game he does. So he's not
can't
up.
do one. You can't do both.
I don't think so.
Okay. I don't know. Well, apparently he's out. So we go from there. I don't know if Barrett's coming out or not.
Well, now Tone just says he's not on right now. They're showing the local news.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. See, I love how people are scouting this and keeping us informed.
I agree.
I mean, was there any kind of communication with Xander, perhaps?
Zero. I don't know.
I don't know.
That maybe. Well, we didn't get anything in the private chat or anything like that. We didn't get any
nothing.
Email or text ahead of time. I gotta go to the hospital.
What are you going for lunch?
No, maybe. You never know. At least I'll send a text.
What do they got today? Salisbury steak?
No, come on. That's not drive to a destination and eat material. Salisbury steak is trash. Salisbury steak, like you order Salisbury steak, just leave. Seriously, like where?
That was the staple TV dinner, because that's what they used to call them when I was a kid, was TV dinners. You had the little tray and you'd sit it on a little, expandable tray in front of your television. And it was always Salisbury steak, some kind of mixed vegetable medley, a little medley, and then some sort of like au gratin potato.
Right.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
And then maybe a little fruit, like some sort of apple crisp.
I thought you were going to go the staple of meat served at Ship, because we got Salisbury steak served like every third day at Gettysburg.
Well, yeah, and I worked for a year in the dining hall up at Shippensburg.
That must have been an experience.
Oh, it was awesome. It was great. It's a great way to meet girls.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And you just go clear their table. You had to wear it was Kreiner Diner was what it was called. We called it the Kreiner Diner. It was Kreiner Hall, I believe, at Shippensburg.
Okay.
And you'd have to wear, the uniform, which was the white T-shirt with, I think it was the Freshie Company, their logo, because they did the food. And then, of course, you had the paper hat, sort of like you were working at McDonald's, And, I picked up women wearing that. Now, think of the game that you have to pick up women in a Freshie white T-shirt with a paper hat on. Okay?
That's what you would have?
Yes.
To work with?
Yes.
Look, that's like running a race with your shoes tied.
Yeah. Sort of like, or driving a beige Ford Fiesta since you were 17 years old. Okay?
Correct. So Barrett just sent us a text that has the text from Rich at NBC 10.
Okay. But for helping us out at 11 a.m. today. We wanted to make sure you're all good.
That was at 9:35. I think so why wouldn't he send us that?
He's probably under the idea that he did. But we didn't get it.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Wow.
I'll tell you what. Priorities. And I get the priorities.
Oh, no,
you just got to let us know.
Yeah, you would let us know.
Of course I would.
That's all. You'd let us know. Latest MVP odds. Rodgers is at 1,000. Brady at 1,200. Mahomes still at 500.
Yeah,
man, I'm staying
that
so
Brady's
far
a bad bet.
Yeah, I think Mahomes is too, to be honest.
Yeah, it's Rodgers all the way.
I agree. Rodgers would have. So think about this. The difference between what Mahomes would have to do to live up to the expectation of being better than everybody in the NFL, which he is. But again, this is like the fatigue that Jordan, LeBron, others would have to deal with in this ridiculous award, versus the benefit, if you will, that Rodgers will get. Meaning Rodgers could probably have like a top 3 year and still win the MVP, Harry. I don't know if anybody else could have a top 3 year where they're like 2 guys statistically ahead of him, and you could still say, no, he's the MVP. I don't know if you could do that with Mahomes. I feel like Mahomes has raised the bar, set the bar for himself so high. He needs to have 50 touchdowns to win this year.
No, you're right about that.
Rodgers, 35 touchdowns, not many picks. All of a sudden,
the other guy, what is the Buffalo quarterbacks?
Josh Allen?
Josh Allen.
I just had those 3, but let me pull them up here across the board so we can look at it. He's got some value to him, but to be fair, I mean, think of what scenario would have to happen here.
Well, I mean,
he'd have to be the best quarterback in the NFL, right? Like he couldn't be the 3rd best quarterback in the NFL and win this thing if Mahomes and Rodgers are ahead of him, could he? I have it right here for you.
No, I mean, but I think he could have an unbelievable year.
Oh no,
what did he have last year? 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
He's plus 1,100.
Almost 70% completion, 4,500 yards. I mean, let's say he tops 40 touchdowns and throws, for 5,000 yards.
Well, I need to know what Rodgers and Mahomes are doing.
Yeah.
I mean, what happens if Matthew Stafford throws for 5,500 yards?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was interested in him a couple of weeks ago. I think he's going to have a great year.
Right.
I like the Rams.
No, I think that the Rams and Matthew Stafford at plus 1,600 is a decent outside bet. Russell Wilson at plus 18.
Mm-hmm.
It's not terrible. Look, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Ryan Tannehill. If you have some change lying around, it's not a terrible bet, although I just don't know how many years in a row this guy can keep bulldozing. But it's not a terrible bet to take the first non-quarterback on the board, especially because it's the guy who most likely will once again lead the league in rushing, right? I'm not going to take
Derrick Henry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although there's only 500 points different. Derrick Henry at 3,500.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, could you imagine if Deshaun Watson was traded somewhere and he just exploded?
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't win the MVP, though, right? NFL wouldn't do that.
No, probably not.
No,
that's not a good look.
Are we done taking Lamar Jackson futures? He's at 1,700
for MVP.
Yeah. Dak Prescott 1,500. He was lighting the league on fire, Harry.
He'll be comeback player of the year.
It's interesting you bring that up. He's at plus 165. I'm not going anybody defense over Prescott.
Who else is in that?
Well, McCaffrey sits at 4.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Now, what about Joe Burrow?
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow is at 400, and I wonder if Burrow just has this amazing year, and there's like no other way to acknowledge it outside of giving him this award.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. I think there's a reason why Dak is the odds-on favorite for this. You can pretty much take Wentz off the board here at plus 900.
Yeah, plus it's everybody pretty much agrees that Dallas is going to make the playoffs.
Correct.
Nobody's saying Cincinnati's going to make the playoffs.
Correct. That's a great point.
Nobody's really saying Carolina either yet.
No, although they could be sneaky decent
if
they figure something out on offense, especially with Darnold not asked to throw for 5,000 yards.
Although I saw yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before, that Coach Matt Rule threw a player out of practice. Maybe Joe Judge went off on his players because he saw Matt Rule throw a safety out of practice after he took a late shot on one of his wide receivers, Keith Kirkwood, who went to Temple, by the way.
Right.
And Kirkwood had to be carted off the field.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's the damage?
Matt Rule doesn't play, man.
No, what's the damage on that?
I don't know. I don't know if there's any extensive damage, but he had to leave the field on a cart, which is usually not good.
Never good, especially like practice where you got a couple of guys who can help you walk it off there. Now, would you be interested in Coach of the Year?
Yes.
So Flores is at 1,200.
Oh,
right?
That's a good one.
So here's what I would look at. Okay. Kyle Shanahan is plus 1,300 today, right? For Coach of the Year. He's the second odds-on favorite I see at Fox. All right. So you could probably find it elsewhere. Maybe there's a better value for it. That's fine. But plus 1,300. Let's just say you really like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
San Francisco gets a lot of guys back that were hurt last year. They have Garoppolo back. They have 7 different running backs. They have one, if not the best tight end in football. I know Kelsey would say otherwise, but still Kittle is an absolute monster. All right. Follow me here. Let's take Kyle Shanahan to win this award. If that's the case, then we might as well take a long, hard look at the Niners winning the NFC West, right? Because chances are that Sean McVay or Pete Carroll would get a nod if they won.
Sure.
All right, so the Niners now plus 200, all right, to win the NFC West. We should also take a long, hard look right now at Jimmy Garoppolo winning Comeback Player of the Year, because no knock on the rookie, but Trey Lance ain't leading this team to 13 wins and the head coach winning Coach of the Year and then winning the division. That's just not going to happen in this league. So Garoppolo would have to have a pretty damn good year in order to do that. Meaning, if Jimmy Garoppolo is still here and this thing plays out, which is the only way this thing plays out, not with Trey Lance, you might as well take Garoppolo at plus 1,600.
So you're stacking here is what you're
I
doing.
am stacking.
Yeah.
Now, let's say $50 is a unit. That's fine. You could parlay this, by the way. You know that. A $50 parlay will win you $35,700.
Wow. I don't think it's happening, though.
It's not happening, but you want to be in the game.
All right, here's an update on that Panthers situation. The reserve safety who hit Keith Kirkwood is JT IBE. He was waived shortly after he delivered the illegal hit to Keith Kirkwood's head that sent the receiver to the hospital in an ambulance. Kirkwood was released and diagnosed with a concussion. So they cut the safety.
Ah, okay. And that makes a lot of sense, right?
Wow.
A lot of sense. Because you know that if it's a starter who's owed millions of dollars over the next 3 or 4 years, nothing's going to change. But if you're accountable or can be held accountable, that's what you can do.
Yeah. Rule was saying the hit was completely unacceptable and it's not what we'll do.
Yeah. I get it, man. Like we've seen this a lot. This is unfortunately the most concerning element of camp here, because that kid's trying to make the team.
Right.
And he's not doing it to be a jerk. Real quick, we're going to break real quick. Pardon me, on Sports Map. We'll be back in 3. Actually, back in 3 on Sports Map Radio. Still live here on the JAKIB Media YouTube page. We'll break on the stream here before the top of the hour. So keep it here on Sports Map Radio. I'm sorry, you were saying no. But like that kid's trying to make the team.
Right.
So it's just this.
He said he's not a dirty player.
No, he's not. I wouldn't think. Look, I don't know him, so maybe but I feel like young kids or guys that are brought in as camp bodies that still think or have or told they have a shot.
Right.
This is a game where
trying to make an impression. You know, he's trying to knock the ball out.
It's really difficult.
Yeah. It's tough.
Unbelievable. But not necessarily in the sense of, from where I am at least, and from where you have been, and so many people have seen this play out, it's the most concerning because it's the most volatile element.
Yes. Now, Barrett's recent text leads me to believe that he's going to be joining the show at some point.
Why?
In the second hour. He says we can discuss later. So I'm assuming that would be on the show.
Right.
You don't take it that way? I think he's heading home right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, again, or maybe he meant phone call. I don't know.
Well, we got Lombardo at 12:40.
Right.
He says he didn't even get the link the first time. Must have gone to his spam folder. Come on. Stop.
Spam folder from you? Or did you DM him?
No, I sent it. I emailed it to him.
Okay. I just making sure that this wasn't his end around of being like, nah, man, I lost your number.
No. Better not be.
Right.
Or he's done.
Exactly. Now, the new piece is out here on Philly Voice.
Oh, yeah, yours?
Yep.
And this is this the Bryce Harper thing?
No. That was shot down by.
Oh, really?
By Matt. Yeah.
How come? Because it's Phillies?
No, well, I think that just, you go with what hits, right? So the Eagles and to a lesser extent Simmons stuff. Simmons can be so timely or anything with the Sixers, but my idea I think could have been misinterpreted, and that's what the concern was. So that's why I agreed, where it was like I wanted to be different and cool and out there and do something in like Bryce Harper POV, as we talked about. But
right.
It could be easily misinterpreted as like attributing quotes or feel or something to Harper. So it wasn't a good enough idea for me to then counter and say, all right, let's do this. Let's do that. I was just like, you know what? Let's roll with this Hurts thing. So.
I just gave it a retweet.
Oh man, you're too nice.
I know. I still don't have that blue check mark. I'm still waiting. But that's all right. I know we don't talk hockey, but did you see that Evander Kane story? It's amazing.
No. Oh, yeah, about betting?
Yeah.
O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
Well, our second hour will begin shortly. And then from there, I guess Matt Lombardo at 12:40. Does he have it?
I forwarded him the link. He should have it. He's dealing with Joe Judge right now. And apparently, I think Barrett will join us at some point in the second hour. But are we going to have a fake news from Ron Culver? Because we haven't heard from Ron since we threw that out there.
We'd have to ask Culver that specifically.
Didn't I just do that?
Well, I was giving him time to like get to the mic. I was killing time so that there wasn't an awkward pause, man.
It's called a pregnant pause.
Right. Jim Rome invented that.
Yeah. It's okay to hold off. Actually, I don't know if Jim Rome invented it. I want to say William Shatner.
Oh.
Yeah, but Rome from a radio standpoint, like no music jock could get away with a pregnant pause. You turn the radio off, right?
Right.
The first person that I ever remember as far as a pregnant pause was Rome.
Right.
On the radio.
Well, then also Bruno would do it when a caller would call in and say, "Hey, Tone, how you doing, man? Let me check."
That was
beautiful. And working with him, you had to leave that go. Like he'd say, "Let me check." And you had to be quiet. It's like Chris Wheeler with Harry Cowles. You just stay away and then beautiful, man. And then you could talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, let the suspense build.
How many? Yeah, and look, man, you don't want to step on that.
No.
Yeah.
No, but if you and the masses want a fake news, we can do a fake news at 25.
Okay, let's do it. Why not?
Okay, it might only be one story, but we'll do a fake news.
Honestly, man, we can just do. How about this? All right, let's do a fake news centered around your trip.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
One story is fake, the other are real. How about?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, I'm with you, brother. Nice response from our buddy Jeff Kerr, CBS Birds 365. Appreciate that, Jeff.
What, on your article?
Yeah. Now he's a writer, so
right.
That means a lot to me. I am no writer. We're back in 3 across the board. Second hour coming up now on the middle. All right. We'll see if Barrett is in the house when we're back.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid
as long as you face the fear.
and keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull beef jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at ibew98.org.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
This is a key. It's a family tree. It's a pair of wings. It's a secret handshake. And a ticket to anywhere in the world. It's more than a uniform. It's the door to a world most people only dream of. There's Strong, and then there's Army Strong. Try it on at GoArmy.com.
All right. Wow. So Barrett sent Xander a text at 11:47 a.m. that he's on at 12:10.
Wait a second. 11:47 a.m. today.
Yes, because that's when Xander put it up in the private chat. So I don't want people thinking that he was late. I was late in reading it.
Oh, Barrett's going to be on today on this show in 7 minutes is what you're saying.
But why wouldn't he tell us that? Oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't know.
We should just talk golf when he gets on here.
We should.
As punishment for failing to communicate. Really, man. Now, what's Lombo doing here?
What do you mean? Is he coming in?
Yeah.
He is? Not supposed to be here till 12:40.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, is there anything else you got besides the damn fight?
Well, I mean, overall, just observations, questions about their camp. The quarterback, Saquon.
Okay. I'm not touching Saquon in fantasy, by the way.
No?
No, I'm doing a show a little bit later today, specifically designed of guys you do not draft.
Is that an Awesemo show?
Yes, it is.
So these are fades, fantasy fades.
Fantasy fades. I like that. That's
yeah.
Good, yeah.
I'm trying to think. Would
so it's myself and Ben Rossa on there, and
right.
I can tell you. So we have all of them in here. A quarterback each, a running back each, wide receiver each, tight end each.
Cam Newton's a fade, right?
Not so much. Well, yes, I think he's a fade, but he's not like. So you want to find a guy who is either like super popular or high draft and say it's not worth the value. It's like laying 200 on a bet, right? Like you're not going to get the return of investment.
What about Cousins?
See, Cousins, I think, is the opposite. I think Cousins is a sleeper because he's fallen down a lot on draft boards and he's just consistent. And he has guys that he can throw.
Matt Ryan.
See, now, again, Ryan's draft is so low.
Oh, it is?
That the two guys we have are Matthew Stafford and Hurts.
Oh, okay.
Because Stafford is taken so high. Running backs are Jacobs and Barkley.
The middle starts now on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
Well, we are live now, second hour on the JAKIB Media YouTube page, live back with Sports Map Radio. Ron Culver has promised us a fake news Culver style. Not Culver City, but Culver style.
And you are floating on air starting hour number 2, my friend.
What do you mean?
And I can tell. Because you got yourself a bravo from a fellow writer, like a real writer gave you a bravo on your piece on Philly Voice. Like a bravo.
Yeah.
That's you don't just roll out. You don't just throw bravos around.
No, it's exactly it. And I'm out. Like I've checked out now.
Yeah.
For the rest of the show.
Well, supposedly Barrett's going to be checking in at 12:10.
Now, Tone has set the odds on Barrett joining the show before or after 12:10 on the dot. Would you take the over or the under?
I would probably take the under because I think Barrett probably drove home a little amped up. He probably was well over the speed limit.
Okay.
To get home. The grandson, boss lady might have wanted to grab his attention when he came in the door, and he's like, no. I got to go downstairs and log in.
Correct.
So I think he would tend to come in a minute early rather than a minute late.
Now, I have breaking news, Harry. Are you ready for this?
In the world of what?
Me.
Oh.
My first appearance.
QVC.
Has been scheduled.
Oh, must-see TV. Now, what time of day?
Sunday morning. All right, I'll be on the Sunday mornings with Pat and Dan.
Oh, so Dan Schwartzman?
Yeah. Tell me more about these lights. Sunday morning, that is a giant program because you have to understand, like where people are up, right? A lot of people in the older demo, they're up early.
Yeah.
This is
I'm in that older demo.
You are. You'll be up early. The show ranges from 7 to 11, so I'm not sure the specifics, but back in 3 on Sports Map.
I'm usually watching Premier League if I'm up that early on a Sunday.
Oh, man, this is great.
Wow. Pat and Dan?
Pat and Dan.
Pat. Do we have you, Pat?
I thought that was Tom. No? Was it Pat?
Schwartzman did it to a guy named Pat once. It's hilarious.
Okay. I've just confirmed a QVC on-air guest. I'll be there at 7 a.m. Now, I'm not sure if I can't imagine I'm on first.
Now, do you do this from your house?
Absolutely, bro.
Okay. And what do you have to wear?
This. I'll have the hoodie on.
Yeah?
No.
You're going to wear like a suit or like a sport coat, right?
No. I think it's Sunday mornings with Pat and Dan. I'm not going to do a sport coat. I'm going to do a nice golf shirt. That's
okay.
Yes, I'll do a nice golf shirt. And, from there, I think we're in good shape here.
12:09 and no Barrett yet. Looks like I gave him too much of the benefit of the doubt.
Well, it's only a couple of seconds over. So Tone will tell you it doesn't matter if it's 1 second or 1 hour over, the over hits. Right? Did I say that to myself or?
No, you're right.
Oh, okay. Big Daddy Graham had I'll steal that from him every now and again, where he would say something to somebody at 3:30 in the morning and that person was just incoherent or didn't hear it or something.
Right. No response.
He'd follow up with, I said to myself.
I said to myself.
Oh, he's an amazing, amazing character. This is great. I get Jeff Kerr giving me shouts to end the first hour on the article. And now here we get the first QVC. I'll have to shave. I have to whiten my teeth.
Wow.
See if I can do that Hollywood diet, maybe drop an extra 10 pounds in 2 days.
Yeah, how do they do that? Is that just a fasting thing?
No, you drink some elixir.
Oh, to make you it's almost like you're getting a colonoscopy.
Exactly. I think that's what it is, except they label it a different way.
I put my shake up today on my Instagram.
Now, what is it?
It's I've been doing this for 2.5 years. I usually do it like 3 days a week, usually when I'm playing golf. Coconut milk, ice, Greek yogurt, flax seeds, a big tablespoon of flax seeds, 2 big scoops of the Orgain protein powder, spinach, blueberries, banana, ground turmeric, and cinnamon powder.
Nice.
Yeah. Put it in a blender. Tastes good too. The cinnamon helps.
The cumin, though, is that
no? Not cumin. Not cumin.
Okay.
Cumin would overpower it.
That's what I was going to ask.
No, turmeric. There's really not that much taste. Yeah.
I got those confused. Sorry.
From the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, so the over has hit.
Yep. I gave Barrett way too much credit. It was supposed to be 12-10. It's currently 12-12. Still no Barrett.
Now I'm going to have to go up and get the kids soon. So instead of pushing this thing to another 15 minutes or so before we break, if Barrett is here, then I could just quickly run up and then pop back on.
Right, right.
But he's,
Did he get detoured to a White Castle? People are wondering on the stream.
Could be.
Yeah, and I read that they do not give out franchise. They don't award franchises to people, which is interesting. No,
how do you get one? Then?
The only way, well, you can't get one. The only way that you can be involved with them is if you have real estate, and you sort of give them, go into it with them with the real estate, but you don't own the location or the proceeds. You just can be a real estate partner with them.
When you mean them, you mean corporate?
Yes.
Okay. So they're essentially going in. Now, what's the payout here? Is it 50-50?
Well, I don't know. It's some sort of, I don't know if there's a rev share. They just rent. Maybe they rent from you or you sell them the real estate.
Yeah, I think that makes some sense here, but I wasn't sure, which one it is. All right, here's Barrett.
There he is. 12-13, right on the dot.
Man, this is absolutely crazy. Crazy. NBC 10, man. Oh my goodness.
Well, we had no idea you were out today.
Yeah.
Well, me neither.
You didn't?
No. I get a call and I shot you guys the text. I get a call.
You didn't shoot us the text. You just
no. I shot you the text of what happened this morning. So get up, shave my head, everything. I wouldn't shave my head for you guys, but I had to shave my head because I was on NBC 10. So Rosemary, I was on with Rosemary today from 11 to 11:45.
Yeah.
Who's Rosemary?
She's NBC 10 anchor.
Oh, I don't watch the news, so I don't know these people.
Yeah, so the big boss, one of the other big boss, Said it's time to come in. So I had to go straight to camp. I had to give a camp update.
All right. So what stood out today? Like what was the number one thing today? Because we heard that Nick Sirianni gave Jalen Reagor an earful.
No question. And he needed it. You know what I mean? He didn't execute. You have to go out there. If you're doing something, you got to execute it. You know what I'm saying? And if you're executing it the right way, after he's told you what to do and you still don't execute it, of course you're going to get an earful. I mean, even yesterday, the same thing. Yesterday he had to stop. And you know, with the offense to make sure they got on track. You know, it's always going to be a situation where the defense is going to be a little more advanced than the offense when they start off early.
So what was it? A bad route? Did he run a bad route? Did he drop the ball? Like what specifically did he do wrong?
Well, that's what I'm saying. He ran a bad route. You know, so you got to make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's. You know, and you have to take care of the intangibles. The intangibles of understanding, all right, if you need to break it off at 12, you break it off at 12. Don't break it off at 13 because now the quarterback timing is messed up, which makes the offensive line timing messed up, you know, which totally, you know, takes away from what the play is.
There's certain landmarks that you got to hit.
You have to, you know, if you're supposed to stay on you know, if you're supposed to stay in the seam, stay on the seams. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you're trying to press that safety, you got to stay on the seam.
You start freelancing and they're going to throw a pick.
And that's what happens. And that's what happens. and look, and you know, if you look at what happened with Carson last year, a lot of the times, you know, yes, Carson was bad. You know, he was definitely bad, held the ball too long. But a lot of the time, those young receivers put them in a bad position because when they were supposed to break it off, they didn't. Or if they weren't supposed, you know, if it's a hot route, you turn around, look for the ball. As soon as you see somebody vacate the area you're in, you got to turn around and look for the ball. Because if somebody vacated that area, that means they're blitzing from that area. And they're going to throw, you're supposed to throw into the blitz. So you got to turn around and be ready for the ball. If he's not ready, then, you know, it looks like Carson messed up on the play. But, you know, you got to get on him, man.
I was reading that the position coach, I guess, first got on him, and then Sirianni came over and piled on from the top rope.
Well, you got to, man. You got to, you know. I mean, because it's a young team, you know. And I was talking today. It's so many first impressions that are going on the field. You know what I'm saying? It's the first impression as far as, you know, showing the coach you can do this. A first impression as far as offensive line blocking this or defensive line, you know, working this move. So many first impressions, and you never get another time to have a first impression. Well, you know, with all these guys being new and a new system and everything, there's going to be a lot of those. You don't want it to be negative. You want to go in it with positive, you know, because if he can't trust you, he can't play you. And
all right,
if you can't play, you're not going to get paid.
Eytan and I, since he was part of the news today, we're talking about what is a reasonable expectation for Jalen Reagor in year 2, but year 1 with a new coaching system, you know, new staff and a new essentially quarterback. What is a reasonable expectation for a first-round pick?
6 balls. 60 balls.
60 balls. Okay.
60 balls, 800 yards, over 800 yards, and at very least 6-7 touchdowns.
Wow, 6 or 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Okay.
Now that's for a first-year guy. I'm talking about, you know, he was the first rounder last year, so it should be more than that.
But Eytan made the good point that this is sort of starting over with a new staff and a new quarterback. You know, new other wide receivers. It's kind of like, it's his second year, but it's
But you got to look at this all. The reason why I said just 860 balls and, you know, 6-7 touchdowns, because he also has another guy that's going to be a big chief in there. Smith is going to take away a lot of his production also.
Right.
So I mean, it's more so. It's more so that, you know, he's going to have to share the rock. That's all. He's going to have to share the rock. But there's nothing wrong with that because the offense will keep it going. Now, if he doesn't get this route running right, they have to play him in a limited capacity.
Right.
And when I say lean by limited capacity, they have to just game plan him. And it's hard to game plan just one guy when you got, you know, 10 other players on the field. You can't just game plan one guy. All right, we want Jalen Reagor to get the ball. Not when you have weapons out there. You got Ertz on the field still. You got Goddard on the field. You got, you know, you got Smith on the field. Those guys, you know, they want carries too. You look at, you know, the backfield. You know, Hurts is going to take up a lot of those carries because, you know, he can run the ball, you know, and they're going to expect him to do that. So a lot of times it may be, you know, going to somebody specifically, but Hurts might take those reps because, you know, it might be a situation where he sees something that the receiver can't see and he takes it. You know, they try to play man and everybody's back is turned. Then he takes it up the field, you know, gains the first down. Those are all things that have to be calculated with Jalen. But Jalen has to make sure that he gets in where he fits in. You know, it doesn't help that he flunked the conditioning test.
What is your hierarchy of wide receivers? Smith,
yes.
Fulgham, Rager?
I'm going to go Fulgham, Smith.
Oh, Fulgham, Smith.
Fulgham, Smith, then Rager.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Who then? Ward?
Ward, too. So.
Yeah, that doesn't give me much hope.
Like he's trying to set a fantasy lineup right now.
No, I'm not at all. I'm just listening. That's all. I have zero hope in that group in this division, at least. Not much at all. I think you could bank on.
Was there any discussion down there amongst whether media folks about what happened at Giants camp yesterday?
Yeah, well, they talked about it a little bit. You know, it's getting feisty.
Yeah.
1 second, guys. I got to take care of some. 1 second, please. Sorry about this. 1 second.
Oh, jeez. This might be. You should have gone up and gotten Teddy in the first couple of minutes.
Seriously. John Lynch quoted Garoppolo playing his best football.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, trade me. Offer me something.
Let's see.
Yeah.
He hasn't been traded yet.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of that, I saw yesterday, I think I bookmarked it on Twitter with a like so I could go back and find it. All right. My boy, Phillip Rivers, was asked about possibility of playing somewhere next season. Sam Farmer from the LA Times. Okay, very respected, longtime Pro Football Hall of Fame award winner, Sam Farmer, said Phillip Rivers to the LA Times, quote, "I'm not predicting I will play in December or January, for that matter. 1, you've got to have somebody who wants you, and 2, it's got to be right. But I have not completely ruled that out," end quote.
Like I said, he's gonna be back with him. Either that. I also heard a rumor that they might be trying to go in and cherry pick one of those quarterbacks up with the Steelers.
The Colts are.
Yes.
Oh, so
they don't have much to give up.
What, Haskins, Dobbs, or somebody like that?
Their second team, what's his name? Rudolph or
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
Mason Rudolph.
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, that's trading for a backup quarterback who could be the starter next year if and when Ben Roethlisberger leaves. So what does that tell you if the Steelers would be willing to part with him for probably next to nothing? I mean, the Colts don't have a lot to really give up right now. Guys,
well, I heard it was a 4th rounder.
What's that?
Word is a 4th rounder. A fourth rounder? Yes. As high as a 4th
I'll
rounder.
believe that when I see it, to be honest. For a backup quarterback?
Yeah, well, you know, the need is there.
Put a 4th rounder for Jalen Hurts right now.
The need is there. You mean remember what what Howie Roseman was able to do with a quarterback and get a 1st rounder, which allowed them then to go out and get Carson Wentz.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at taking advantage of somebody going down like hurt-wise right away, I think that you could look at Sam Bradford with more not by a ton, but Bradford was a starter in the league.
Right.
And Bradford was still
so was Rudolph.
Barely, though, right out of circumstance.
Right.
That's all I'm saying is that you're maybe right. Maybe it's a 4th rounder. And I just think that, man, don't you think they could get a better quality quarterback if they put like a 3rd and a 4th together or something like that?
Rudolph?
I don't see.
Yeah.
But see, I don't see teams right now that really have that convenience. You know, I mean, look at the quarterback situations around the league. I mean, quarterbacks aren't a premium like they were like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
you know, there's a lot of guys that are going to get paid a lot of money simply because there's not a lot of guys around that could really come in and be backups. I mean,
it's really a tough spot too, because
very tough.
If you want to wait it out for at least 2 weeks and see how Carson's progresses after the surgery for a couple, for let's say 2 weeks, gets you to week 3 of the preseason. and you're like, okay, he's looking pretty good. Maybe he's going to be back sometime in September. Let's just ride it out with what we have.
Well, yeah.
Or as opposed to, wow, this looks like it could go closer to the 12-week time frame. We don't really like what we see in Easton. We got to go get somebody. But then you bring them in, and then you have such limited time
to get them ready.
To get them ready in your system. You know what I mean? It's brutal.
Well, look at, for instance, look at Houston. Tyrod Taylor's the starter.
Right.
Davis Miles is the backup. Jeff Driscoll. Come on, man. You mean so there's not a lot of guys out there that can really fit the bill of being a guy that can come in. Now, when they're talking about a start, they're talking about somebody that's going to come in and start immediately.
Right.
Because they really don't have anybody at this point that can come in and play. And the expectations of this Indianapolis team, they're in win now mode right now. They're in win now.
Yeah.
Their defense is playing at a high level.
It's risk reward. You can't be in win like no team is in win now mode starting Mason Rudolph. You're taking yourself out of win now mode.
Right.
Well, but see, there's no other. I'm trying to think of a quarterback right now that can come in and fit that bill.
I think they would rather go with Eason than go with Mason Rudolph at this point. Eason, and here's why. All right, we'll break real quick. All right, we're back in 3. Barrett's in the house. We're going to take a break before Lombo comes on the stream. So back in 3 on Sports Member. Like I think at this point, the Colts have the benefit, if you can even use that term here, of not being a week out of the season, not being to that point where you need somebody that's ready to go. Yeah.
Like Minnesota's situation.
Right. With Bridgewater.
Yeah.
So I honestly, man, I would not be shocked. I'm not saying that this is what the Colts want, but I would not be shocked if they looked around and thought, you know what, win now mode is put on hold as a whole. So let's not give up a 4th rounder for Rudolph. Let's just start Eason for a couple of weeks, see what we got. Look, that schedule is a massacre waiting to happen the first 5 weeks anyway.
Right, exactly. And that's going to dictate a lot of what they're going to do also. I mean, that schedule is, that's pretty tough.
Yeah, it is.
So, I mean, I'm trying to find there's not really a lot of backup quarterbacks that you can really look at. I mean, I even went as far as look at Seattle's backup situation. Geno Smith
stinks.
He's been in the league how long?
Next.
Right? So yeah. I mean where would you find somebody?
Could you honestly make a trade right now for Jameis Winston?
Ooh.
No, because at this point down, I don't think that same situation is all the way
it's
fixed
not
either.
Right. It's not a solid situation. It's still fluid.
Exactly. Taysom Hill is just not a starting quarterback. No matter how hard, Sean Payton wants to make him, he's not
going to be
the
every down quarterback.
No
way.
That's what I'm saying, though.
No way.
Like looking at it from that standpoint, they may look at it the same way and say, well, we've got 2 quarterbacks. Look, the bottom line is that Taysom Hill's not going away. He signs a contract. He doesn't sign that contract unless Sean Payton continues to try and force him on the field, which we know just from watching him ain't going to work.
Right.
So that might be an excuse for Payton to look at it and say, hey, man, this is now an opportunity to look. I'm not saying that the Saints are waking up today and saying, we got to trade Jameis Winston. But I'm saying that if you're the Colts and you're starting to throw around mid-round picks, why not pick up the phone and see if a 3rd and a 4th could get you Jameis Winston? Would you guys do that? If that's all it took,
a 3rd and a 4th
to get you Jameis Winston for the year?
Yeah, in a New York minute.
I mean, that's probably your best option, right?
But I still don't think the Saints would give up Jameis Winston for a 2nd and a 3rd. I can't see it.
Whoa, a 2nd and a 3rd?
No.
Second is big money, man.
The 2nd is really big money. But I mean, Taysom Hill is just not a starting quarterback. Like I actually went in and I was thinking, all right, Lamar Jackson, and then I'd put Hurts, and then I put Taysom Hill. And what I'm saying, the playing ability that they have, he fits right in between the both of them. He's not as athletic as a Jackson, but he's probably the same as Taysom Hill. But I think he has a better arm and more of ability to be a pocket passer than Taysom Hill, but not as good as Jackson. So I say he's right in the middle. Now, those are two franchise quarterbacks right now, if you look at it. So at this point, you know, you got to look at Hurts as being a guy that could be a franchise quarterback.
So that second round pick, by the way, would not be until 2023.
Yeah, 2023.
Right.
Yep.
In which they would have most likely one or the other of what doesn't happen this year. Nobody's going to trade a first round pick, so just kill that by all means. But
I think
add some future picks into this. You probably what about Garoppolo? We just talked about.
Just about to say Jimmy Garoppolo. If they went ahead and played Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo would be the guy that I would say. I mean, because Josh Rosen is their backup there. You know, he's been on a world tour. You know, he got drafted by Arizona.
Stinks.
Yeah, exactly. Went to Tampa Bay, couldn't win a job, and now he's with the 49ers.
I thought he'd be pretty good too.
Me too. Me too. Was it Cal Berkeley?
I'm on the hook with that. Rosen? No, he went to UCLA.
UCLA. That's right. Yeah. UCLA. But a Jimmy Garoppolo for a second or third, I can see that happening. I could definitely see that happening. I can see them pulling the trigger on that.
Now that is going to take a little more currency at the point.
A second and third.
Yeah.
A second and third. So the culture in the bad position, I really think they're going to try their best to get Rivers back, and I think he's good. I think he is going to come back.
You guys want to put a bet on it?
No,
I would.
Well, then do it. You don't need a book.
How can you? There are odds for that.
No, look. You've been warped with this new legalized betting to where you have to race to some book in order to solidify a bet. 1,000 years ago, Barrett, people were making bets without a Bet Rivers app. All right. It's the old fashioned way. I'll bet you do this, I'll do that. You get that going. Maybe we do an old fashioned bet here.
Oh, yeah. Old fashioned. All right. What 100 push-ups in an hour?
I think I could do 100 in an hour.
Well, 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Now you're getting to
30 minutes. Yeah. 30 minutes. 100 push-ups is a lot, bro.
Money at this point, but yeah, we can do that.
One of our listeners just had a hole-in-one, his first hole-in-one.
Oh, get out,
Mike Ranny.
How do you know that?
He sent me a text.
Oh, well,
with the ball in the hole
included in this.
Well, because he listens to the show. Sometimes he's on the stream.
Wow.
18th hole at Bella Vista, a little par 3 downhill. It's up near Gilbertsville. It's up near where Kincaid's from.
Okay.
Originally.
Now I have a
Kevin
question
Kincaid.
for you.
Yeah.
What is the nature of what is the line of the hole in one that we can celebrate? I tell you what, let's do this because
celebrate anyone.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. But Ron, I know you have the Culver thing ready to go, so we can do that as well as get Lambo in here too. But here's what I'm saying. All right. There's a municipal pitch and putt down the street from me here, right? Alverthorpe Park is what it's called. Not too far, maybe 10, 12-minute drive. It's a par 3 pitch and putt.
Right.
If I'm pitching from 90 yards out on hole 4 and I ace it, do I celebrate that as a hole in one?
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Now I see what you're saying.
Well,
no, I think you have to be on a legitimate golf course. Like it can't be a pitch and putt or a par 3 course.
Okay.
There's such thing as a par 3 course?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like in between, if you will, a pitch and putt and a real course.
Right.
To where you can use you'll probably have a hole or two where you could use like a 9.
Right.
Something like that.
That's the best thing since sliced bread.
Oh, those have been out.
You can get in and out. Yeah.
But what about this? What if I'm on the course and just to speed things up, I'm playing with the people I'm playing with are hitting from the whites or the reds, which is the women's tees.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? I'll play from the women's tees today just to have some fun. Do I count that as a hole in one?
Yeah, but it's from the women's tee, so it's got an asterisk.
Exactly right. I
put an asterisk into the record book there.
I wouldn't even care.
See, Barrett, you and me think alike. Right?
I wouldn't even care, man. A hole in one is a hole in one.
It's just like if you play from the red tees, you got to post your score from the red tees.
Sure.
Yeah.
Look, I'm about to start playing from the whites, which is in between the reds and the blacks where I go, and just to make me feel better about the number. But then again, I mean, that's not going to do anything for the handicap.
Right.
So Joey B has to be a 9-hole or 18-hole round on a course. Now, there's a rule. I don't know if this is universal, but there's a rule at the place where I play that if you hit a hole in one, it doesn't count unless you finish the round.
Yeah, I can see that. Sure.
Okay. I didn't know if that's a universal thing.
Adam's exploit says that Crescent, which is a 5-minute walk from my house.
That's right near where you live.
It's
Yeah.
5 minutes from my house. It's one of those type of courses, a par 3 course. I didn't know that.
Well,
I've never played there.
You could also just Google par 3 course, and it will automatically by you pop up.
Wow, I'm gonna have to check that out. I might play. I'd probably be more of a player then if I knew it was a par 3 course.
We're still gonna have to drive, and you're still gonna have to hit shots 190 at a fescue.
I wouldn't mind that though. The par 3 course, it sounds like it'd be a faster game. That's my only reservation about playing golf a lot, because the game is so slow.
Not with me. We play 2.5 to 3 hours.
Yeah, it's
3 hours
fast.
I've never played a round of golf that fast.
Oh my God! I tell you, it's got. I know that everybody says, "Oh, you have to go out there. You have to enjoy yourself. You're out there for the day." Golf to me is now way more enjoyable if we're speeding through it than just.
Well,
I don't even want to meander anymore.
Those are those guys that just are using it as 6 hours away from their wives and kids.
Right.
I don't need that.
Right.
Well,
me either.
See,
my wife's on the golf course.
Me too.
She's over there in a 14th hole.
Yeah. She's probably whooping your tail. She'd probably be whooping my tail. It's no problem to it. She would be.
I'm being told to get out of the house and go specifically there. So yes, I'm going to take advantage of it too.
Is your dog back in the house yet?
Not yet. No,
not yet.
Not yet. Still.
So you don't have the release of going out and walking the dog after the show.
No, but
that used to be a nice thing for you. Yeah, that was a nice thing for him. Pop an edible or two. He'd take the dog out. He'd get on the phone.
Fire out a couple Texas.
Yeah.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
As long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull beef jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at ibew98.org.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
This is a key. It's a family tree. It's a pair of wings. It's a secret handshake. And a ticket to anywhere in the world. It's more than a uniform. It's the door to a world most people only dream of. There's strong, and then there's Army Strong. Try it on at GoArmy.com.
Lombo says he's there.
Yeah, I see him.
All right.
I'm trying to avoid the awkwardness of what happened with Sealski yesterday.
Gotcha.
This is The Middle on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry May.
And yes, as you are live on the stream on the JAKIB Media YouTube page, you can see our buddy, Matt Lombardo from Fansided, National NFL Insider, joining us on SportsMap Radio as well. And, well, we know how your day went yesterday. You, Ralph Macchiano, and everybody else, all of your colleagues. I'm sure Jordan Renan was up there hanging out.
Oh, yeah.
Your colleagues got a front row seat at the brawl of – the last time we saw a fight like this was in Manila. All right?
Either that or Vince McMahon set it up.
What the hell happened yesterday? Secondary to first and foremost, how the hell are you, brother? Good to see you.
What's going on, boys? Thanks for having me on. I'll say this. My day sure went a heck of a lot better than Logan Ryan's, Evan Ingram's, and the rest of the Giants. My goodness, I've never seen anything like that covering an NFL training camp practice. And I think I tweeted this yesterday. I go back to the days of covering the end of the Andy Reid era in Philadelphia, Chip Kelly, Doug Peterson, Pat Shurmur, and now Joe Judge. I've never seen anything like that in terms of how a coach handled his players yesterday. It was certainly bizarre, certainly something I've never seen before. But as Daniel Jones said afterwards, I think the players got the message about that fight yesterday based on what happened afterwards.
Wow. Well, obviously Daniel Jones, your franchise quarterback, at least for the rest of this year, on the bottom of a pile like that had to be what, really set the coach off, right? I mean, if Daniel Jones isn't at the bottom of that pile, if he's standing off to the right, does Joe Judge, do what he did yesterday?
Yeah, Harry, I'm not so sure about that because we know that Joe Judge runs a physical camp. We know that everything about this camp the last 2 years has been all about fundamentals and playing sound football and all of that. And just before jumping on with you guys, we had a chance to talk to Joe Judge, and he basically said that the reason they ran 3 sets of 100-yard gassers, the reason that they did 2 sets of 10 push-ups, the entire team lined up on the goal line in between them, is because in a game, that's a 15-yard penalty and guys are ejected. Now, it certainly doesn't help that Daniel Jones dove into the pile after the fight started and wound up on the bottom of it. And that's when, the coaches jumped in and said, whoa, we got to stop this right here. But I think that the punishment would have happened either way. And, we've seen it last year when there were a couple of scuffles or, some hits to the back of the head or helmet-to-helmet hits where Judge had, kicked the player out of practice. He came out and flat out said today they kicked the entire team out of practice yesterday, that they had 25, 30 minutes more of stuff they wanted to get done. But after that fight, the message was, hey, if you're going to fight, if you're going to, do things that hurt the team in a game or potentially cause an injury, we're going to throw you out. And that stands for the whole team, doing 100-yard sprints and push-ups and then sent to the showers.
You know what? I mean, I've heard of fights in camp, practice.
I'm sure
it happens.
You
have grown men. I've been in my fair share of fights, but to that magnitude, I mean, is it because of them being an undisciplined team, or what do you think it is that what you allowed this thing, a culmination of all this to happen? Is it because of practice so physical that they just need to blow off some steam, or what do you think was the major cause of it?
Yeah, Barrett, I think, you've played in the league for a long time for a couple of different franchises. At least from the outside, and I'm sure you'd agree with this, teams really take on the mentality of their head coach.
Right.
If you watch Joe Judge and a Joe Judge practice for 15 minutes, you'll probably hear 150 F-bombs. You're probably going to, see guys that are sent on running penalty laps for making mistakes. You're going to see last year at least.
Well, that's
training camp.
That's uncalled for.
Yeah,
that's uncalled of.
Yeah.
I never heard of a coach making guys run at the NFL level for stuff like that. That's done on a regular basis. A guy jumps outside to hit the track.
Oh, every time. You're late to jump in on a substitution. You're running around the perimeter of the field. But I guess what I'm trying to say here is the teams take on the mentality and the persona of their head coach, and Judge is one of these old school, tough as nails, run a brutal camp type of coach. I think the Giants are taking on that personality. But just as a funny aside about the laps, I think it was Monday this week, Nick Gates, I guess maybe the starting center, fumbled a snap or there was a false start or something. He takes off and runs a lap. He gets halfway around the perimeter, and the coaches are yelling, Nick, Gates, get back. We need you for the next rep. So obviously, whether Gates did that on his own or the coaches did it, maybe Joe Judge, maybe Jason Garrett, maybe somebody should have run a penalty lap for sending Gates out there without having the backup ready to go.
It's like Willie Mays Hayes doing push-ups in the middle of a game after he knocks Pop out right above the catcher, and he just starts trying to hit the deck and doing push-ups. What's going on at Giants camp here?
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think that the players make a lot less of it, at least publicly, than we do. But you talk to sources around the league, and they've never seen anything like this. It's Harry high school tactics. It's what coaches do.
Right.
And maybe if you gave these guys sodium pentothal, truth serum, maybe they'd blast their head coach a little bit, but at least publicly they all say the right things. Last year they played physical, and last year they were one of the more competitive teams down the stretch. We'll see if that translates this year, but it's certainly an unorthodox way to running a training camp based on what I've seen in my career.
So just following up on that, is this something that you think is going to be the norm, not running gassers at the end of practice, but the way in which Judge is handling players, the way in which Judge is talking to players? And the reason why I ask this is because you know how this thing's going to play out if they're en route to a 4-13 season, 5-12 season, where all of a sudden you and others are going to be reporting about how, man, this thing fell off weeks before it actually did. So he runs a really narrow line here of setting the tone and being in charge to pretty much allowing vets to kind of have that turnaround if things don't play out well.
Yeah, Eytan, I kind of thought that was going to be the case last year, right? I thought when you show up and there's no names on the back of jerseys, when coaches are running laps and players are running laps, you kind of had the sense, what is going on here? He's going to lose the locker room and lose the team before week one. But, you look down the last year, they go out on the road and they beat Seattle, they beat Philadelphia, or they beat Dallas in week 17 to put themselves in a position to win a putrid division race. I would have thought if he was going to lose the room, he would have lost them last year. So I don't know that he runs that risk so much this season unless things just completely go off the rails early on. But even then, I think the scapegoat in that case is the quarterback, based on all of the investments the front office made with Kenny Golladay and Kyle Rudolph and Kadarius Toney, that if things fall off this year, I don't think it's Joe Judge who gets whacked or gets the blame. It's having 2 first-round picks in your back pocket to go and trade up for the top quarterback in the draft, or trade for an Aaron Rodgers, or trade for a Deshaun Watson. That would be the big move to try to maximize all the talent they have there.
Well, you kind of answered a little bit of my next question. And you got to follow Matt on Twitter at Matt Lombardo NFL. It was Daniel Jones. I mean, this is a huge year for him. They go out and get him a bunch of weapons. They've been drafting players. What is the expectation for him this year as far as, numbers go, or is it playoffs or bust? What are the expectations?
Yeah, I think Harry, it's finishing above 500. I think it's significantly cutting down on the turnovers. I think he had something like 25 turnovers a year ago. In a 17-game schedule with the weapons they've now put around him, if he doesn't have some sort of 35 touchdown, 10, 11, 12 interception type of a season, if that's not the benchmark, if he falls short of that, if he only throws 18 touchdowns and 16 interceptions, you're going to start looking a little bit cross-eyed here, because he's this number 6 overall pick in the draft, a pick that wasn't made by this head coach or this coaching staff. And you're armed now with the draft capital to go and get his replacement, either via a veteran or the best player available in next year's draft class. So I don't know that it's playoffs or bust, because this is now a pretty competitive division, but I think it's above 500 or bust. It's significantly cutting down the turnovers or bust. And it's just showing that you're the franchise quarterback. It's like the Supreme Court's definition of pornography. You don't really know what it is, but you know what a franchise quarterback is when you see him, and you need to see that from Jones this year.
Look at
No
that.
question.
Wow.
How long you had that ready?
Right.
You're mixing like pornography and football.
I mean, I've worked with you.
Is he playing to his audience here or what?
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe to you, Harry.
Well, as far as veteran leadership, who would you say is the veterans on that team? And, how much influence do they have? When you have a coach that are running guys like that, it doesn't sound like you have some veterans. Like when I was playing with the Giants, I had guys like Strahan. Strahan totally, canceled a practice, canceled an entire day. We didn't even have 2 days that day. He canceled everything from meetings to everything. What type of veteran leadership do you have that? Who's the guy up there or guys up there you say are?
What's really ironic, Barrett, is I think that it was 2 of them that started this brawl yesterday. It was Logan Ryan, the defensive back, hitting Evan Ingram, the tight end, in the back of the head from behind. I think that that's what really sparked this. And all of a sudden you have guys who are protecting the offense and the defense. But I think big picture, Blake Martinez, the inside linebacker, certainly one of the more vocal and respected leaders in that locker room. You look at a guy like Leonard Williams, a quiet lead by example type of guy who says he wants to be more vocal this year. And you look on the offensive side of the ball, it has to be Daniel Jones. I think he commands the respect of his teammates, even if he's not that rah-rah type of a guy. And then Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard, and Saquon Barkley, I think, are the big-time leaders on that side of the football. But again, none of these guys, outside of Logan Ryan and outside of Blake Martinez, really have much postseason or Super Bowl experience. So you can be a leader, but, my experience being in locker rooms is that if you don't have that track record of success or those Super Bowl rings on your fingers, I don't know how much that voice carries.
Wow, somebody's getting a lot of text messages.
Got to be Lombo.
Lombo's phone is blowing up.
He's the only one that's in demand right now.
Are any of those texts coming from your fellow Sun twin, who we'd like to get you two? We'd like to reunite the Sun twins on this very program.
Dude, what a show that would be.
I know.
What a show that would be.
Yeah, Stazak. Yeah, Stazak and Lombo. Can that happen?
I think that at this point in the summer, I think Stazak's shirt is about the same color as Barrett's shirt that he's wearing right now. You want to talk about Sun twins? I've been down the shore, but man, my guy Joe, he looked like a leather football by the time his vacation was done. Love him. I'd love to get a show with Joe and I and the 4 of us. I mean, that'd be a radio if I've ever
dude,
heard.
I never will forget listening to you guys on like Sundays or some driving around, and you go on this big soliloquy. You carefully set up you set up your whole argument with bullet points, and you boom, 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 boom. Then you turn it over to him, and he's like, "Well, yeah, I agree." Or whatever, like 3 words, and it's right back to you, and I could just see the steam coming out of your head.
You can hear it over the airwaves in your car.
Slamming the headset down, like, get me something here, buddy. Come on.
Lombo, you should have saw, man. I mean, during this COVID time, oh my goodness, he went into a dissertation. It was a Sunday. It was so intense, and it was all over the place that I had to call him while he was on the. I had called him on the radio. I was like, "Bro, what the hell are you doing, man? You need to stop it." Yes, he was talking about things he shouldn't have talked about. He talked about race, politics, the church, everything, and just I'm like, dude, you can't do this. You know what I'm saying? You can't do this.
You should have just called in as a caller to derail it, and then you have to take the phone call.
Then he asked me to hop on. I'm like, no, I'm not hopping. That's career suicide. I mean, I couldn't believe the stuff he was saying.
Oh,
I literally pulled over.
Those were some of the most fun days of my career, working with Joe, working with Eytan and Harry and you, Barrett, just chopping it up, laughing, having a great time. Yeah. I'm glad to see you guys kind of reuniting to an extent, doing this and putting out great content as always.
All right, real quick, hold on. We got a break on the network. We're back in 3 on SportsMap Radio. Yeah, that was something else, man.
Oh, it's great.
What's that? The Joe just like
now look, Lombo's got a water jug almost as big as yours.
I do.
Let's see that thing again.
Drink 2 of these a day. The 50-ounce Fiji water.
Is that 1.5?
$1.99 at Whole Foods. It's the best deal in water.
No, so you're a golfer too, man. You know, that's all these two talk about is golf,
Yes.
man. They talk about betting golf.
I'm still waiting for the invite from Harry. I keep hearing about this great country club he's a member
Yeah,
of.
you know, it's a long list, man. I got it one at a time.
Right.
Right. You know, Eytan's making his QVC debut in a few days. Eytan,
right? Sunday,
Lambo. Yes, Sunday.
Sunday.
You got to tune in to QVC Sunday morning.
What are you selling? What are you hawking?
Pair of motion sensor lights. So they're awesome. I got 2 of these.
There you go.
Yeah. So they've got a battery here. You can put them on your car. You can put them on like fuse box. I actually use them here in the studio where I can turn the lights off and it saves tons of batteries.
Well, are you going to be live out in your driveway, like
I'll
showing these things how they work?
Yeah, I'll be live in my studio, man.
Oh, okay.
Is this like your product? Like, did you patent this?
No. There's a long standing brand called TOFs, and there's a new spin-off brand called Home 365. So I have this. I just did something, a call this morning for razors. It's basically an electric razor. It's got 3 different things. So the brand is designed to provide stuff around the house, in and around the house, just to kind of like make life easier. The best part about it is it's the highest paying thing I'm doing by a mile. For 6 minutes of work.
I need your agent. I mean, you got to hook me up with your agent. Man.
No. This is real stuff, not sports radio agents. Sports radio agents, what you need to do is you need to hire somebody who has a connection with the radio station. So no matter how bad of a talent the people who came before you are, you'll still get a plug at that radio station. That's the key in sports radio.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm getting out of this business. If you haven't seen,
It's who you know. It's who you know. It's
ridiculous.
If you don't bet, I don't have a snowball's chance right now, man, because I'm not a betting guy. So my career is like, I don't know, man. You know, I don't bet, so I mean I don't know how else to make money.
Man.
Yeah, it is. So they're teaching me slowly but surely.
Yeah, just hang with these two long enough, you'll become a real degenerate real quick.
No, I was a degenerate before it was cool.
Right, before it was legal.
Right.
Before it was a legal thing to do.
We have had everything. We had I think yesterday was 100-leg parlay. Did you have 100? It was 100-leg parlay you was going for, or a baseball bet you had going on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How'd you do with that, Shan?
Fantasy lineups.
Oh, that's DFS. Yeah.
Yeah.
150.
300. Well, 150 on DK.
Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, so Lambo's still hanging with us. Those are just like those I got in the 25-cent wiffle ball and the 5-cent, pitch hint, whatever it is. So it's 25 cents an entry or 5 cents an entry, and you win it. You win $300 or $1,000, something along those lines. So you do the math at 5 cents an entry. 150 entries is what, $7.50, right? So that's nothing.
Right,
to win $300 or $500, depending on where it may be. So
yeah, but that's nothing compared to your Russian ping pong obsession.
Well,
betting
right.
Russian ping pong.
Oh, you don't know about that now, Lambo.
That's
You're not
being up at night, taking advantage of value. That's all, and watching this thing play out.
I'm telling you,
that's all it is.
Yeah, that's all.
Russian ping pong, Lambo. You in with that, man?
You know what? If you can bet on it, I'm not surprised that Harry and Eytan are all over.
No, I'm not. I'm not involved with this.
Well, here's the thing. I just saw this on, I don't know who it is, Sports Illustrated or somebody that you don't work for, an outlet that we all don't work for, put this out where it was like, some betting guy for the Ringer or some NFL guy for the Ringer is calling out betting preseason football as, oh, that's degenerate. And like, I get it from the layman where it's like, oh, you're a degenerate, Barrett making fun of me for betting preseason football. I get, but anybody who is in the betting world making fun of you for betting on far less sharp markets is an absolute idiot.
Right.
And shouldn't even be paid attention to. Like what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to go to DraftKings or FanDuel, which is advertising every single possible place, and expect that they're not the sharpest lines with the sharpest bookmakers out there?
Yeah. I mean, it's a partnership with FanDuel and FanSided, by the way.
Oh no, no,
Oh,
no, I'm
yeah,
not
that's
knocking.
right.
They're everywhere. I'm not
Everywhere.
knocking
Yep.
either. I'm just saying, like, as a bettor, you can't expect to go in there and get the best possible odds or a break when they're advertising across the board outside of sports as well.
We're seeing on the stream Lombo top 5 guest.
Uh-oh.
How about that?
How about that?
Now you gonna hang for a couple or you gotta go? What's your deal?
Yeah, I actually have a meeting to discuss our betting partnership and my role in it. So
There you go.
Maybe you can respond to my damn email about something going on too.
Yes, I know.
Jesus.
I'm still waiting for the response from their end. I didn't want to
Did you
play
forward
the
it over at least?
waiting card, you know. But this has been fun, boys. Really appreciate it.
man. All right.
Hopefully, we do more frequent appearances if it's this popular. This is great.
We got to get that Sun Twin reunion. That'll be
We
the
do.
best way to end the summer.
I love it.
All right.
On a beach, in a beach bar somewhere.
There you
Right. You got to have flip flops on, like
That's
them,
right.
girl.
Yep.
Damn right.
No doubt. Fake palm trees, the whole deal.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, boys.
Later, bro. Later.
All right, there he is. Lombo at Matt Lombardo NFL.
Correct.
So he's going up in the world, and we're staying status quo, huh?
What do you mean? You were on NBC 10 today for an
Oh,
hour.
yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
What are you talking about? Eytan's selling motion detectors.
Yeah, I'm telling you, get out of this business while you can, man. There's no money in sports. Barrett makes more in a week playing for the worst team in an injury settlement than he would in an entire career in sports media. Nothing.
Sports media, man. I enjoy it though, man. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy it. You know,
and that's why people will always squeeze talent because this is the rare. Like, do you think people grow up and say, you know, when I get older, I would love to cover a senator? Or I would love to cover a president. No, people don't want to get into it's like, okay, you know, that may be the best job available. Nobody wants to cover the majority of stuff they do except sports.
Right.
The people that are in sports are sports nuts.
You never lied about
Usually,
that,
yeah.
So when you do get involved with this, they take advantage of you because, all right, you know, number one, they know that you're a fan at heart. So they twist on those heartstrings, like, all right, you really want to do this. I mean, I can go find somebody that's twice as young as you and twice as cheap as you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Twice as good looking as you. And you know what I'm saying? To fill your role. And that's how they negotiate. There's no negotiating as far as talent. Like, you have enough talent. No, it has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that.
Nah, man. I'm telling you. Got an agent in 3 months, was able to do more outside of sports than having agents in a decade worth of sports.
Is that right?
I'm telling you, it's amazing because nobody gets it. They just think that it's the rantings and ravings of a maniac whenever I bring this stuff up. But nobody understands, like, there are 3 or 4 agencies that really staff sports, especially the bigger it gets, right? You've got CAA, you've got Max Talent, and maybe like 2 that rotate throughout. So you're really battling already a very
Who's Lev Seltzer work for?
Matt. Well,
is he Max?
Yeah,
he is Max. Okay, because that's Sid Rosenberg's guy.
Right. And look, I mean, Lev's great. Rodney's with Max, so
okay.
Max is MAXX, not like a name Max.
Oh, okay.
And you know, Mark is the guy who's created all of that. But and credit to him and CAA and everything else. But like CAA, for example, you've got, you know, there was a stretch where you would have somebody on TV talking about a player and everybody would be repped by the same agent under the same agency. So the person on television is also repped by the same agent who it's like Barrett and I being repped by the same person, Barrett playing, and I'm talking about Barrett.
Wow, that's deep.
I'm telling you, right? And people were knocking like JC and others were trying to get in this game. And it's like, hey, I just appreciate anybody for opening this up and allowing more people to be involved in it. But it's wild how short, I don't know. It's just an observation, to say the least. That's all.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what, man. Practice was only an hour and 20 minutes today. If I had that, and it was only 70 degrees outside.
Well, I'm seeing that they are notoriously short practices from Sirianni's group. Why is that, do you think?
I think they that too.
Don't lie to him, Barrett.
That too. But I think it's more so that they go out there and they go about their work. They get it done. They hustle the drills. They go full speed. They don't play around. One thing in between the lines, they're not BSing around. They're actually going full speed. Even though they're in shorts, they're going full speed. They're running. They're running to the ball. Defenses, gang tackling, or trying to strip balls. They go about their business the right way. And, I guess that's how they're able to get their work in, because they're not out there playing around. They're out there making it happen. And at this point, I can't be mad. If I would have been playing right now, I was born 20 years too soon.
Yeah.
Because if I was maybe 10 years, I'd still be playing right. I'd be in year like 22 with this practice schedule.
You'd be like Tom Brady.
Exactly. Right.
44 years old.
It's so easy out there. I mean, of course, these guys are bigger, stronger, and faster than when I played. You got guys like Jordan Mailata, 6'8", 400 pounds, can run, like a late freight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's the type of athlete you look at is just, it doesn't even look right. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even look like it's real.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at him and watch him move, he doesn't look real. I'm thinking to myself, what if he had a nasty streak in him and he didn't want to pick up that damn ukulele? He could be all world. No, I don't know if he plays now.
I don't know why you're anti-ukulele.
Because
it's a soft instrument.
Yes, it just doesn't look manly when you're playing 6 foot 8.
It does when it's like there's some 350-pound Samoan dude playing it.
Well, no, this is the way it looks. This the ukulele. This is the way it looks right here.
Frozen. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like.
No, right. Harry, I think we need to meet you halfway here, which is you're on the right track, maybe the wrong train, which is nobody in their right mind will step to Jordan Mailata and question his playing the ukulele. But from a distance, I don't necessarily know about that.
You know what? I would in his face simply because I don't think he's tough.
Barrett, Harry and I could go into one of those big man costumes where he's standing on my shoulders and we still wouldn't be as big as this dude. So
what if he smashed the ukulele like Pete Townsend would smash his guitars after a song? Like he'd play, whatever little song, and then he'd smash it on something. Would that make it more manly?
No, I still can't get past the ukulele.
He'd smash it over Andre Dillard's head.
Yeah, see, I don't have a problem with that at all. What if his pregame was him coming out like did the honky tonk man used to
a little guitar?
Honky tonk man. That was back in the day. There we go.
He used to bash people over the head with it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what if Mailata came out and before every opponent, he'd run to midfield and they would have the makeshift mascot of whoever they're taking on. Mm-hmm. And the first and only thing he'd run out there, take that ukulele, swing it in around like a lasso, and then bash the hell out of the head of whoever the mascot is. Now, all of a sudden, nobody's questioning that ukulele thing anymore.
I like the ukulele.
No, I don't like it.
Do you like the sound
the
ukulele makes?
I do.
Maybe that's what I'm having a hard time figuring out is how you can support the sound.
Mm-hmm.
The ukulele is like a super poor man's. It's a below poverty man's guitar, Harry. And you're a music guy.
When I see a ukulele, I think of 5 and below. You can get that at 5 and below.
5 and below. My God. You're just totally disrespecting the island communities.
Man,
we need to get Visikahem on to talk about a ukulele.
Well, Visikahem, he twirls fire and
right.
He does that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about Vi. Vi's tough. Vi knocked out Canseco.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a tough little guy, bro.
91 LSXer says ukulele, not Yuki Washington.
No.
Let's go to the phones.
I like it. Great reporter, huh? Great anchor, huh?
Love you.
One of our just retired.
He's a friend.
2 years ago, right?
I thought he's still on the air.
I think he's still out there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Come on, man. I know he works for the competitor, but you can't throw him down like that.
You can't, bro.
He's a legend.
He's been making millions for years and years.
Yeah.
He's bank, man.
Right.
Bank.
I want his agent.
And he's related to Denzel Washington.
I did not.
Just wait 5 minutes. He'll tell you.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He's somehow related to him.
You see the resemblance?
Yeah.
Wait a second. Here's the thing. Can you really fault him? Like, if you were
No.
related to Denzel Washington.
Of course. I've been saying it every 10 minutes.
Right. You know, let me tell you about this film. I was sitting over at Denzel's house. We were watching this game.
You know we're cousins, right? Yeah, of course.
I'd be the same way. Like, if it was The Rock or Kevin Hart. Yeah, you know, hey, can't you see?
Exactly.
Me and Kevin Hart, we look the same, don't we?
Right.
You know? The Rock's, look. See the eyebrow?
I think
eyebrow?
you're there. All right. We got Thursday football coming up tomorrow. We're going to have to get some people on from this game, right? Maybe we get Newey on. I don't know. We'll figure this thing out.
Barrett said
Charlie Batch.
Oh, yeah. Charlie Batch. I forgot about that.
Now, are you at practice tomorrow?
No, I am here.
All right.
here
Until he
tomorrow.
gets a text from NBC 10. And we'll be like, where's Barrett?
Gotta go, man. Gotta go. And my fault. I should have called, but I they told me my hair was, I still had hair growing out because I was gonna wear a hat today.
Right.
On the show. I could put a hat on today for the show, but I had
you had to shave it up.
Yeah, man.
I'll send you one of these new razors I got. You'll be golden.
There we go.
Skull shaver?
No. That's Brace's thing. This
Okay.
is something different. All right. We're back tomorrow, Thursday. See ya. Have a